Hi there, I'm Eleanor Graves. I'm an interior designer and owner of Clean Air Homes in Baltimore, Maryland. I started making these Inspiration and Optics videos because I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the process that happens between the designer and the client. There's a kind of magical alchemy that happens. It's a kind of idea heaven where we talk about your needs, we talk about what you want, I show you a bunch of inspirational images, and then we need to get into the optics and understand how we're going to make it all work. So today I have an image for you that is a modern interior, very bold, very confident. It has a fair amount of art history in it, which I won't go into the weeds with, but I'm very excited to talk about it. And we're just gonna jump right in and have a look. This is an ad agency in Madrid, Spain called Agencia Madrid. And it was designed by Casa Josephine, who are also based in Madrid. And what jumps out at me right away is that it is modern, it's using bold colors, and then I'm going to show you a different image here. This is from Instagram. There are these columns, these classical columns, and then also these smooth arches. So yeah, the word modern, just a little bit background to talk about why this is all pulling together so well in my mind. The word modern in architecture and interior design is a broad term. You know, really whole art history classes are based on just trying to define what it means. It's so broad. In this case, I want to look at a really interesting area of modern design where it claims a kind of allegiance to classical architecture. Classical architecture is easy to define. Picture Greek and Roman architecture, columns, white stone buildings. It's what you see in Washington, D.C., it's at most, if not all, state capitol buildings. Modern architecture is at its essence about simplified forms and clean lines. And it's also about building materials that are newer, like glass and steel, and also materials that are mass producible and more affordable, like tile. So I see each of these elements in this interior. There's this Corinthian column. I'm going to see if this image here shows a couple of them here. Kind of skinny, kind of quirky, not too serious, but absolutely making themselves known in bright white. The modern aspects I see are in the clean lines of these arches, these arched panels enclosing this conference room. And I'll return to those arches in a moment. Classical architecture projects intellect and power, a sureness about itself, a lasting and stable presence. Modern architecture, in its way, tries to do the same, but with different materials, with with confident lines and shapes, and with the use of white, which is absolutely a nod to classical architecture. Although, side note, most recently it has been revealed that ancient Rome was not about all white buildings at all, that the paint had faded. They were actually red and ochre. So it's kind of funny if you think about it, like all our white buildings are based on this myth. But anyway, so we have this mix of modern and classical, and this very bold color palette. This is a primary color scheme, which is interesting to see in a modern interior. Typically, colors played down in modern interiors, but here they went for it. Primary color schemes, so I'm talking about red, blue, and yellow, are primary colors, are most often seen in children's spaces, in classrooms, playgrounds, kids' toys. We see it especially well incorporated into the tile patterns here. These are custom created by the designers and appear also on the walls, so on the floors and also on the walls. Let's see if Here you can see some more of it moving throughout the space, also on the walls in here. So it's a very confident move. All this tile, all this geometric pattern, a very sure move. These colors are energetic, enthusiastic, open, playful. They are also the building blocks of other colors, by the way. They are the essential hues, which means they cannot be broken down further. So perhaps this plays into their design development as well. There's the classical nods, the clean modern lines and materials, and then the straightforward, no-nonsense primary colors. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I want you to also pay attention to the colors that are not drawing all your attention, the supporting colors. To me, the art and beauty of this design, what takes it to the next level, is the supporting color relationship they used. And in this case it's this maple, this blonde wood color. I'm going to go back here. So this is a color I'm seeing more and more in both interior design and in fashion. It's not pink, it's not brown, it's blonde, it's maple, it's white with a little red and a little yellow. And just a quick comment here to say I've stopped using the word nude to describe this color because it asserts a presumption of a white person's perspective, which can be exclusionary. So I've stopped calling it that. This maple, this blonde color, is getting a lot of use in this interior, which brings warmth, but also a breath of calm. I haven't shown you this one. Here is a nice display of it. This is such a more calm area. I see it in the materials too. So it's in the walls, it's in the tile. You can see under the table here is also that color. Back here you can see it's this in-between color. It's the color between the geometric patterns. White is bright. White is playing up with the other more bold primaries. It's also bringing to me a little tension into the space. I think it is breaking a rule of some sort, but I haven't been able to figure out what exactly the rule is. Maybe it's the tension between the bright white and this color, which is, this maple color, which is kind of an off-white. It's also kind of an off-white. So I think it feels new, and I think that's the feeling I'm getting, that's intriguing me, that's bringing me in. I like this tension. I like this newness. That's why I chose this picture. All right, so let's breeze through the other elements a little more quickly. The arches, I'm going to go back to this image to talk about the arches. These are arches. They're also scallops. Repeating arches in a row are also kind of the scallop shape that you see here as well. This is starting to form more scallops. That's very, very hot right now, very much on trend. Here they are, big and tall custom doors. These are the big, tall custom doors, and then repeated this shape in these cabinet doors, a nice touch. And then last thing I'll mention is that the furniture and lighting is very simple in here. Really taking kind of a backseat. Quick note, look at, in this picture they have the blue chairs. In this picture they have the black. I like the black. I think that works better. So yeah, but in general the furniture is taking a backseat. I love how those designers played with classical and modern and bold colors and came up with something new. This happens with the merging of the minds, whether it's between designers or in the client-designer relationship. The relationship itself is inspiring. We share thoughts, we share associations and histories and pictures, and all of it together is a great source for new ideas. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments. You can also find me online at cleanairhomes.com. I'm Eleanor Graves. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.